Edge at 11 starts now.
Well, tonight on The Edge, a man in custody in connection to the brutal murder of a Hazel Park mother and her 12-year-old son.
Fox News' Dave Spencer was there as the suspect was brought in by police and joins us live with more. And Dave, you were the only journalist on the street there. You talked to this guy for a minute.
I did. He didn't have much to say. We'll get to that in a minute, but this all happened at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon on Labor Day. And early today, right 24 hours after that, is when we started to get wind that an arrest in this case was likely. So we made our way down here to the Hazel Park Police Department, and we noticed right around 8 o'clock is when other officers started gathering outside. We watched an SUV pull in with somebody in the back seat. That somebody had no shirt on. He had no shoes on. He was in handcuffs, and we watched him be taken into police custody. Anything you want to say to the Hill family at all? Anything at all? Anything about the family of a 12-year-old? Just silence from the suspect as he was led from the police car into the station, where he's now being processed in connection to a double homicide that happened Monday night. The victims here, 41-year-old Linda Hill and her 12-year-old son, Cardi. They were found in their home on Berdino Avenue near 9 Mile and 75. Medical examiner tells Fox 2 that both victims had their throats slashed, which was determined to be the cause of death. The victims are described as being both loving, quiet, and sweet. The family says this tragedy has shaken them to their core. They've set up a GoFundMe to help with burial and funeral expenses. They also say 12-year-old Cardi was just a sweet boy who enjoyed video games, anything a 12-year-old would do, and spending time with the family. We spoke with Cardi's grandmother, who is also the mother of Linda Hill.
She never went out to party. Everything was done inside the house, so we just a close-knit family, that's it. Oh, that's the sweetest little boy I ever seen and known and raised. Yep, and I'm gonna miss him dearly, both of them.
They take this crime very seriously. This was a cowardly, heinous, vile crime, and the Hazel Park Police Department, the City of Hazel Park, we will not rest until justice is served in this case.
And that's indeed what they did at 8 o'clock today. As I mentioned, that's when a suspect was taken into custody. I did reach out to the victim's family here, and just to make sure that they were aware that an arrest was made. They told me they were. And when I asked if there's any known relationship between the suspect and the victims there, they just didn't want to comment at this time. They instead want to focus on the victims, rightfully so, now that an arrest has been made. In fact, they're planning to hold a vigil to honor their memories sometime tomorrow evening here in Hazel Park. Reporting live in Hazel Park, Dave Spencer on The Edge.
Yeah, and I know that grandmother spoke earlier to Fox 2, and when asked by Charlie Langton, hey, do you happen to have a suspicion of who this could be, that person chose not to comment, understandably. But the bottom line here is that for somebody else who notices something that they're seeing in a relationship that may be dangerous, to speak up, that's so critically important.
Yeah, anytime you can prevent these tragedies, just by having an inkling and acting on that, you could go a long way. It never hurts to act on those suspicions. Who knows, you might save a life. You don't want to end up on the other end of this.
Yeah, and you certainly don't know what will happen in these situations, and we are thinking of that entire family. Dave Spencer for us live tonight. Thank you. A famous YouTuber known for catching alleged child predators strikes again twice in one weekend. Two
accused predators thought they were meeting underage girls at an anime convention, but guess what? It all ended in handcuffs. And Fox 2's Jessica Dubneck is covering this story out of Port Huron for us tonight. Jessica, he really, took this into his own hands here.
Yeah, exactly. And he's been doing this for years now, kind of honing his craft, creating quite a niche on YouTube. His name is Skeeter Gene. And how it works is he has decoys that pretend to be 13 or 14-year-old girls on dating sites. They end up chatting with men on there who know they're underage and still want to meet up. Now, Skeeter Gene says that's exactly what happened at a recent anime convention in Port Huron. Take a look at the mugshots here. We're looking at 52-year-old Eric Kirkbull and 37-year-old Brennan Schwartz, both charged with accosting a child for immoral purposes and for using a computer to commit a crime. Now, Brennan Schwartz there, he had a gun. He was a legal CPL holder when this all went down recently in Port Huron, but it does speak to the dangers that this business holds. You've been doing this about 5 years. I think our first story that we did together was in 2020. How many predators or alleged predators have you caught so far?
So far, we're getting close to that 200 mark.
In this situation in Port Huron, you caught 2 guys who are now charged. How did that go? How did the meetup go? If you could explain that a little bit. It was at an anime convention.
The meetup went a lot more smoothly than expected. Usually these guys are pretty nervous about going into public places where they know a lot of people are going to be.
And of course, innocent until proven guilty, but we have charges here. And in this situation, one of the men actually had a gun on them. I've got to ask, like, do you get nervous?
A little bit sometimes. We never really expect them to be bringing a weapon with them. In this scenario, we didn't even know he had it on him until the police got there.
What do you want people to know about what you do? Because it's a scary business.
It is, and it can always be a dangerous thing. There's always a risk associated with this sort of thing. Me, myself, I always have an armed security guard with me.
How does it make you feel when you see charges, you see a predator behind bars because of what you do?
It makes me feel great. It makes me feel like I'm really, me and my team is really making a difference in society.
Now, both of these alleged predators are being held on $20,000 bonds each. Now, we talked to the assistant chief at Port Huron PD. They're handling this criminal investigation. He says, while we appreciate Skeeter Jean's work, we definitely don't recommend it. We don't encourage people to do this because it can turn very dangerous. If you follow any of Skeeter Jean's pages, you can see how things can go very much awry. Reporting live, Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
Well, of course, we've heard the law enforcement does not encourage this, but what do they feel about him doing this? I mean, we saw they showed up, they paid attention. I mean, is it able to work its way through the system when this man's behind it and he's not a police officer?
Well, you know, it puts them in a predicament, right? So law enforcement shows up. You can't quite ignore the evidence because Skeeter Jean keeps a pretty specific log of all the evidence and hands it over. It definitely has to be vetted. But at that point, once it's in their faces, they can't ignore it.
No, I guess not. All right. Well, thanks for that report. It is certainly interesting, Jessica.
I was at my mom's house across the street, and when we drove through the accident, you could see that it was something more than an accident.
An update on a story we first brought you as breaking news last night in Rochester as a shooting leaves one person dead and another person hurt. The Oakland County Sheriff's Office telling us it all started in a hotel parking lot before ending with a crash down the road. The suspect caught on security video running away from the scene, ditching his clothes and gun.
The sheriffs were here, the canines were here, and the guy ditched his clothes, ditched the gun, shoved it in one of our pallets out here, and one of our yard guys found his belt from his pants, and we were just all confused until the cops got here.
The Oakland County Sheriff's Office tight-lipped tonight with the ongoing investigation, but they say updates could be coming soon.
I-94 is now back open in Ann Arbor after a messy crash earlier today. We're told a truck hauling drinks slammed into the median and split open, spilling cases of bottles onto the freeway near Jackson Road. Another vehicle towing a boat was also impacted. Traffic backed up for several hours after the crash. Luckily, even after all of that, nobody was hurt. And we're working to learn more about another crash this morning in Madison Heights. And you can see how that truck was sitting sideways on top of a smashed up car. This happened on I-75 and 12 Mile. No word yet on what caused the crash and if anyone was injured.
Well, it is cooling off tonight after a comfortable day, but it could get even cooler as the week goes on.
And even maybe some rain, Rich? Is that what we're hearing?
We could use some rain, and we're going to get some tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. And I'll show you where it's coming from. Our next cold front is here in the western Great Lakes. There are showers and storms in northern Iowa, parts of Wisconsin, even the west end of the UP seeing some wet weather. And this whole frontal boundary is dropping our way late in the day tomorrow, but especially Wednesday evening. Right now, it's quiet out there. We had a beautiful afternoon. Once again, sun and clouds, daytime highs near 80 degrees. How about some live pictures from Atlanta Airport, one of the busiest airports in the world? It's fascinating to see all the planes and the lights and the control tower. It's always a spectacle to see with good weather. Pilots are happy for sure. 80 degrees the high for us today, 84 Columbus, even way up there. Houghton, Michigan in the Keweenaw, 78 degrees, 77 up around Newberry. Take a look at these numbers. The official almanac at Metro Airport, 80 and 56. Pretty close to where we should be. It's been cooler than average. Look at that record high, 1953. We were at 100 degrees here in early September. Tonight, a lot of us between 60 and 65 with a very light breeze. The numbers will continue to fall off. 61 Marquette right now, 60 in Fort Wayne. There's 64 in the Steel City of Pittsburgh. Notice our next frontal boundary. There it is. It's going to drop into lower Michigan tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. These are all showers, perhaps even a rumble of thunder late Wednesday evening. And then by sunrise Thursday, most of the action is off to our east. It is going to be a cooler pattern. You'll see it in the 7-day. Comfortable for the rest of tonight, down to 57. Tomorrow, we're back to 80 degrees with a breeze, but the evening showers will be with us. And then check out down the road into the weekend. It is going to be a bit cooler. Daytime highs there in the upper 60s. Another check starting at 4 a.m. Roop Taryn, back to you.
All right, thanks, Rich. A legal battle is brewing between a major fast food chain and a Detroit school.
Yeah, the Giving Tree Montessori on the city's east side now suing Chick-fil-A and its developer over a new location right next to the school. The school's owner says if the restaurant goes up on Mack Avenue, then that violates a city ordinance because the building is being built within 500 feet of the school. She's worried about kids' safety with all the construction and tells Fox 2 they were blindsided by the decision to push forward with the development.
Didn't think Wayne County would ever approve this, and we were in a total state of shock when they did, and we feel very tricked because we didn't appeal because we didn't think they were coming.
The school claims at least 2 families have pulled their kids out of class for the year. We reached out to Chick-fil-A and the development group and are waiting to hear back.
We were shocked how much daycare cost. My husband and I both work full-time.
Parents struggling to pay for daycare or other child costs can take advantage of a program that's expanding into Royal Oak and Hazel Park. Moms in those cities who are at least 16 weeks pregnant can apply for the RX Kids program, which works like this.
They get $1,500 one time after mid-pregnancy. And then once a baby's born, it's $500 a month. And for most of our communities, it's for 6 months after birth. The program is once again universal. It's for everybody in the community. And that makes it really easy to understand like who's eligible.
Moms can also apply right after giving birth. Families can spend the money on whatever they want, ranging from diapers to rent. We're told the application takes about 10 minutes. You can head to our website, fox2detroit.com, and find it there.